The minute we come into the world, people are sizing us up. Let's face it, we're obsessed with weight. Whether we're baking a cake, cooking up some chemistry, or loading a truck, weight matters. It's important to know exactly how light or heavy things are. But why? It all started with trade. Early people wanted to know whether they were getting as much as they paid for. So they started weighing goods. It was hardly an exact science, mostly just lifting and comparing. But as trading became more widespread, knowing the exact weight of an object became even more important. Since weight determined an object's value, traders needed a more accurate means of measuring. Around 3500 BC, the ancient Egyptians invented the scale. Goods were hung from one pan. Weights were added to the other until a perfect balance was achieved. Simple, yet precise. The first scales had to be precise because they were invented to weigh something very valuable: gold. Since gold was traded in such small quantities, tiny weights of an equal size were needed to measure it out. So ancient people decided to use grains and seeds as standards of weight. A grain of wheat became the grain of weight. Mustard seeds weighed gold in India. The seeds of the carob tree gave us the carat, still used to describe the weight of diamonds today. And because gold and silver could now be weighed, they could also be used as money. The first coins were just lumps of precious metal, so a gold coin was simply worth its weight in gold. But our weight problems didn't go away. Dishonest traders and merchants often shaved small amounts of metal off coins, making them less valuable. Nevertheless, history proves that not all trade was risky business. During the Middle Ages, big trade fairs were held in Troyes, France. The weights and measures used there were carefully monitored to ensure that people didn't feel cheated and would keep coming back. Supposedly, it was here that the Troy pound came about, a 12-ounce pound used to measure precious metals. In the 1500s, Britain's Queen Elizabeth I built the first system of weights on the Troy pound. Monarchs kept a tight rein on weights and measures. Bakers caught selling underweight loaves ended up in the stocks. To cover themselves, they baked an extra loaf to add to every 12 they sold, now known as the baker's dozen. So here's a question millions of people want the answer to. How do you lose weight without dieting? First, weigh yourself. Next, find a high mountain and climb it. Then, weigh yourself on the summit. Bingo! You've lost weight, maybe as much as half a pound. Weight is determined by gravity. The farther away from the center of the Earth you go, the less the pull of gravity, so the lighter you'll be. Although you might weigh less on top of a mountain than you would at sea level, your mass would be exactly the same. Mass, or the amount of matter you contain, remains the same wherever you are. We often use the word weight when what we really mean is mass. It's a difference that is critical to scientists. In their world, accuracy is everything. For years, science and business were hurt because there was no universal system for measuring weight. Different countries used different units. The French Revolution in 1789 changed all of that. The explosion of new thinking allowed scientists to design a new system of measurement from scratch. They wanted to tie together all the different physical properties of a substance using interrelated units. The new standard of length, the meter, was to be the starting point of the new unit of mass, the kilogram. The meter and kilogram are two of the basic units in the metric system, which is used around the world today. Imagine a cube whose sides are 1/10 of a meter long. Fill it with water right up to the brim. The weight, or more correctly, the mass of this water, is said to be exactly 1 kilogram. The clever thing about this concept is that the volume of this same amount of water gives us the liter. The first kilogram was a slug of platinum and iridium, made to match precisely the weight of that liter of water. All the world's weights are calibrated to this single lump of platinum and iridium, affectionately known as Le Grand K. Other copies, or officially national prototypes, were sent out from Paris to other countries, and this international Kilo Club has provided the world with a reliable and universal standard. But everything is not quite as perfect as it seems. There's whispering behind the scenes that Le Grand K may have a weight problem. There's a rumor that it may be losing weight, or more correctly, mass. Or it may be that the copies are putting mass on. It was discovered that as a group, the copies were slightly